Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
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 I'm gonna start with a mortgage minute or two with Mr. Frank Del Pesh. Are you on?
Yes. Good morning.
All right, Frank. If you can do that, I'm gonna take over in 2 minutes. I'm just setting myself up, so I'm gonna mute myself. I'll see you in 2 minutes.
Okay, Rob, hold on 1 second. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Happy first day of winter for us in the north and for the south. Well, it's a great time. I just want to talk about, touch on a couple of things real quick. Moving people off the fence, rent versus buying. It is a great time to buy right now, and I think we have to convey that message out to people on the street. Interest rates over the last couple of weeks have gone down significantly. Rates are now in the mid sixes. Some government-sponsored loans are in the fives compared to interest rates in the eights, upper eights, just about a month or so ago. So it's such a good time to buy. And with the drop in interest rates, the affordability goes up. You're talking about people now can afford a $500,000 home versus a $400,000 home that they could only afford a month ago. Interest rates, or with the interest rates coming down, savings have the monthly savings have it's just incredible. Where now that same payment is $400 cheaper per month. So I think we have to convey that message because over the last 7 years, home values have gone up 77%. A $400,000 home, just about in 2015, is valued at $708,000 right now. So that's a $308,000 increase in value. So I think it's so important that we just get out there and start, talking about the positive things. I know the media is very negative, but if we start talking about the positive things with interest rates coming down and home values still going up, people are talking about, crash and what happened in 2007, 8. Listen, over the last 81 years, we've only had really 6 down markets in the last 81 years. Other than that, prices have gone up significantly. So I think it's just such a great time right now. And with the different programs that are out there, we have, we have down payment assistance programs. So with that, it's just such a great time to buy. So I just really want to talk about and just convey the message of let's get out there and just talk about the positive things instead of the negative things. Rob, are you there?
I'm here. Yep.
Rob, can I share my screen for a minute and 20 seconds?
You'd have to wait a second so I can log on and give you that permission.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to share the screen just to talk about house values and I just want to share a video that Zoom that I was on last week. I just want to just share one of the highlights of the programs and talking about the market itself and where house values have been and where they were going. Yeah, so if you could give me that permission, that would be great.
You have to hang on for a minute. Why don't you talk government loans are still also lower?
Yeah, government loans right now, even with loans that were purchased or closed probably anywhere between August of 2021 through say May of this year, I have there's programs out there right now where government loans, I could do some refinancing, and I can't believe I'm talking about refinancing in this market, but I'm actually doing refinancing for veterans and for FHA buyers. I just locked somebody in at 5.749 on a 30-year fixed on an FHA streamline, and same thing on a VA interest rate reduction loan. So refinances are out there. Statistically, right now, there's about 373,000 transactions per month on the real estate side. Guys, you guys only need a small portion of that to be successful. And on the mortgage side, out of that 373,000 transactions per month, there's about 264,000 people that need mortgages. So on the mortgage side, it's a great opportunity for us right now. So with rates being, trending down, and rates are still trending down, it's good. Anybody that refined or bought about a year and a half ago, they're starting to call and starting to refinance. So we're starting to see a big pickup in activity. So it's just a really good time right now. So yeah, so I just wanted to convey that message.
Recording in progress.
I think that was you, Rob.
You'll be able to share in 1 second.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions while Rob sets up the share for about rates or about programs?
I do.
Go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, good morning. My name is Karma. I am with the
Hi, Karma.
Remax Princeton office. Number one, I'd like to know what area do you cover?
New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Florida. I'm licensed in 4 states.
Okay. When
You're
you
at the
said
Princeton
actually-
office?
Yes.
Did I meet you the other night bowling?
No, she wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Hang on 1 second. Let me get this share for you here, Frank.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do.
We can assist in New Jersey as well, in Princeton.
Okay, what's your name?
Renee Stone. We're over here in Monmouth County.
Frank, I made you the host. When you're done, just make me the host back so you can share.
Okay, so
Okay.
Renee.
Go ahead, Frankie.
Yes.
All right. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
All right.
You can't.
Oh, hold on. Can you hear it?
No,
You can't hear that in the video?
no, yeah. You know what, Frank, why don't you just summarize it? Because I got to start moving.
Okay. So basically, it was just talking about where the home values have gone over the last 81 years, and I think I did touch on it, but it had some more data in there about as far as about increase in values and home values. We've only had a 6%. There was only 6% of the times where the home values have decreased versus increase. So just let's get out there, start spreading the word that home values are going up, interest rates are down. It's a great time to buy. There's a lot of down payment assistance and programs that are out there to help people. So let's have a great year in 2024.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And we also have the Cornerstone, and Frank's our primary in Florida and licensed also in New Jersey. And we still have Matt Sora covering Westfield, just to provide a little bit of clarity. Can you go grab that thing off the printer I just did? So today's mastermind is basically discipline over willpower. And, I think some of us, including myself, are guilty of trying to, muscle and willpower over instead of building the habits and the disciplines to be successful. I keep seeing clues as to what's necessary for the sustainability of our business, and probably more importantly for peace of mind. And this is not it. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it should be there. I think it's there now. Go ahead. So what's important is systems and having those habits instead of using willpower to be successful. And I think, if we build confidence, okay, it makes doing the activities a little bit easier. And we also have to talk about, like, what's the mindset that supports where we're looking to go, okay? So number one is, what's going to give us the confidence that we need to continually do things? Do you think we'd be more confident if we knew it would work and we knew exactly what we're going to say versus winging it? Anybody?
Sure.
So here's a couple of ways that I want to share that I think will give us confidence. Number one is to have gratitude, okay? And if you start with a place of gratitude, it just puts you in a better mindset. I know sometimes people who do role playing, what they might do is they might make some calls to their partners and role play before they go live on the phone. And when you do that, that changes your mindset to being more positive because you feel a little bit more confident with the role play. Here's something that I want to share, and I borrowed these from different influencers on the internet. One is to send a video or a text message to somebody who did something to help you in the past that will make you feel good. Okay, so if you wanted to thank a mentor or you wanted to share an experience and thank a client. Number two would be connect with peers and clients. Okay. One of the things that's lacking in the past, I guess it's going to be going on 4 years with COVID, is the synergy and the culture that we've established in office environments. And I, for one, can say I learned a lot of my craft by being around others. And when I was, starting out in the sales business and lending, I learned a tremendous amount from being around others that were having that same experience. And I think that formed my mindset to help me be a little bit more comfortable with the process. So connecting with positive people, might also go back to when you do role playing, connecting with somebody before you make your calls. It creates accountability. It creates a shared goal. It builds that culture. Okay. And then the third way is, to find your peace, like to be comfortable in the experience that you're doing. Okay. Part of that is feeling like there's a higher cause. Okay. Like if you don't believe, people, selling their house and moving to a more advantageous house is in the common good, you have to convince yourself before you can convince anybody else. If you don't love helping people experience homeownership for the first time, you have to fix yourself and find your peace before you can make that contribution to others. And the second confidence building piece is one that I really love, which is contribution. Okay. And you might say, well, Rob, that's really, corny, contributing doesn't help you. It makes you feel good by helping somebody else. But I think we learn by sharing and teaching. When we show somebody how to do something, do you think that makes us better? Right? So, I'm going to make an announcement here. Earlier this week, and the details were just finalized yesterday, RE/MAX Select Group grew again. We acquired an office in Vero Beach. So big round of applause. I see some people on here. And I see the founder, Wendy, wave to us. And, part of that teaching and helping is, one of the agents came to me when I was meeting them and said the reason they went there was because of the integrity and the image that the founder, Wendy, had when she joined. And I think it was more than 7 or 8 years ago, and she was brand new. And those are the things that really help us to grow, not only as a leader, but to grow individually. So a big phone round of applause for our new office in Vero Beach.
Yay.
There's Fazia chiming in. And this is most people will do more for others than they will do for themselves. Who feels really, really strongly about that wants to chime in? Anybody?
I do.
Okay, yep. So you'll do more to help somebody than maybe you would do for yourself. And I would say I'm definitely in that camp. And my example of that is if you invited me on an opportunity, for example, some of the listing appointments I've attended with the RE/MAX Select Group family, I have my A game on 100% of the time. And the reason I do that is because it might be the only time I ever go on an opportunity with you. And I want to make sure that I'm as good as I can be. If I was doing it for myself and I kind of flopped, I'd be like, there'll be another one. So for me, I'll do more for others, okay, than I'll ever do for myself. And then another thing is, in this market, I'm going to share with you some statistics, but I want everybody to put your butt on the line and say what you're going to do, share it with somebody, and find that leverage to accomplish it. Okay. And this could be, a peer, or this could even be like a family member. I heard a while back, Tom Ferry, when he started out, said, hey, once we get to 1,000 clients, I'm going to take my family on a trip to Hawaii. And what happened was, his kids were now bought into the process saying, Dad, how many clients do we have? When are we going to Hawaii? And I think that's an example that we can all relate to as far as getting other people to buy into the process of what's happening. Okay. So, maybe if you wanted to make platinums or chairman's club, and then you're going to do something special for somebody special, or maybe your family, then that gets them bought into, hey, I'm only $40,000 away from my goal in commissions. I have 3 closings coming on. I think that's fun and exciting. And I think that that gets us, more involved in the outcome to where we're going. I'm going to share with us all some stats now, because I know everybody loves Rob's spreadsheet head, right? And here's just a little bit of market position as we go and turn the year. There are 222,293 members of boards in Florida, which we call realtors, and there's approximately 60,000 of them in New Jersey. Okay. 2023 year to date, there was 258,000 sales in Florida, and in New Jersey, there was 47,000. So that's 1.3-ish, 1 point something for Florida, and less than 1 closed through the end of October in New Jersey per agent. To me, that's something that is a little bit disappointing. And I want to share with you like how people are performing, and I want us to decide where do we want to fit. And then we're going to, embrace a mindset that will help us get there. So there's approximately 11%, both in New Jersey and Florida, of the agents that did 6 transactions or more, which means that there's about 89% that did less than 6 transactions. We don't want to be there. Oh, actually, it's not transactions. This was actually, I looked at listings. So they did less than 6 listings. There is about 4% that have closed 12 plus transactions. And there's just about 0.9% that have closed 24 or more transactions on the listing side in the past 12. Okay.
Rob,
Yes,
can I ask a question?
sure.
There are over 200,000 realtors in Florida.
Yes.
That number is like amazing to me that it's like 4 times our amount.
Yeah, we're the second largest MLS in the country.
Actually,
Astounding.
actually, Fazia, it's now the largest.
Oh, we bumped up. So we bumped up from California.
California dropped to 208,000, and we're at 222,000.
Wow. Like, okay, wait, I have a question. So I look at these numbers and I'm like, okay, that means that the majority of that population is doing about 6 transactions a year. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
So averages are tricky because there's a lot of people that do 0 and a lot that do 100, or there's some that do 100, but that's an average, yes.
So that expression, everyone and your mother is a realtor, is applicable in Florida. Like that's what that feels like to me. Like everybody's a realtor in Florida.
So, and another thing that, I discovered recently, Fozzie, or Angie, is a lot of Florida have dual licenses.
Mhm.
Okay, so a lot of those New Jersey people have licenses in Florida. A lot of people in Chicago, in Illinois, have licenses in Florida. So Florida's probably, well, I'm going to say it's definitely the highest concentration of dual licensees, that, people who are maybe preparing to move to Florida, people who are trying to capitalize on migration patterns from wherever they're at. So I would be curious to know how many of those licensees in Florida are actually Florida residents. That would be an interesting stat, which I couldn't easily figure out. But I want to share with you some other numbers. So in 2023 year to date, Florida is down 3.2% in units. Poor New Jersey is down 24.8.
Wow.
Don't everybody move to Florida right now. And the average sales price in New Jersey is now sitting at 500,000, and the median is at 634. And I think I have Florida backwards. I think the average is 514 and the median is 574, 623. Does anybody know what the difference is? Who knows what the difference is between average and median? Anybody want to give it a shot?
I think the medium, you're taking out the artificially low and the artificially high prices.
Yeah, so the median is influenced by those mega price sales that we see, Eric. Yes. So you do eliminate the extremes on the median. So yeah, so I got
You had it right, I think.
I had it right. And I had New Jersey backwards. Now, this is interesting for you, Eric. Inventory in Florida is up 4%, and inventory in New Jersey is down 23.6%.
I think that's some area specific though, Ron.
I'm sure it's not. I mean, real estate's always a very local business,
Yeah.
but the trends statewide are definitely stronger for Florida. Are you seeing inventory pick up where you're at now, Eric?
Well, we still have a lot of neighborhoods in the North End that have one or no listings for sale. But I think in general, it is picking up further, like West Palm Beach, Loxahatchee, down south, it definitely is picking up.
Right. So, and then price changes, 4.3 up in Florida and 5.3 in New Jersey. Does that feel right for you, Eric, or do you see something different in Palm Beach County?
In Palm Beach County, if they're fixed up, it's crazy. Like I got an appointment this afternoon and I'm looking at these townhouses, and one closed 2 months ago for $1,250,000. Then another one, now they've got three on the market, $1,350,000, $1,500,000. And 3 years ago, they were selling at $600,000. Now I look at the same development, and one just expired at $669,000, and one just closed at $668,000. So I mean, it's just all over the board. So according to those people, they've gone down in price, but the ones that sold, there's a neighborhood in North Passage where during the last 12 months, there's been 0 waterfront homes sold. Okay. From November 23 to November 22, 0 waterfront homes sold and 6 on the market. From November 22 to November 21, there were 9 waterfront.
Some of those more affordable or extremely expensive markets.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about mindset now. Okay. There are, according to Rob, I'm going to define 4 different mindsets. And first mindset is expansion. It's the growth mindset. It's what everybody claims to be. I don't think anybody on this call on a Friday morning before a holiday weekend is going to be of a mindset other than expansion. With the expansion mindset, you are seeking to expand your knowledge base, always improve your skills. I think expansion mindset people have a balance of confidence and humility because they know that they need to grow. They're looking to expand their sources of business, geography, contacts, their performance indicators to grow. Okay. And the expansion mindset individuals in this declining market, those are those annoying ones that you're seeing their production increase. Okay. They're growing in a down market. I think a lot of us in this market are what I call the second mindset, which is protection. Okay. You want to keep safe from harm or injury. You want to have the status quo. You don't want your business to drop too much. The market's off 24% in New Jersey. I'm only off by 2. These people talk about if I can just keep paying my bills and stay comfortable, keep doing more of the same, working harder, I don't lose anything. Okay. Those are protection mindsets. The third mindset is the retreat mindset. Okay. The retreat mindset, these are the people who they're withdrawing from enemy forces because of their superior skills. Okay. So they're pulling their horns back because they've succumbed to the fact that the rest of the market is either growing their skill set quicker, or the rest of the market is superior to them, and they're lowering their standards. They need to cut back on their expenses. They need to lower their expectations. They need to accept a reduced lifestyle, a lower outcome. Okay. And the fourth mindset is the one of surrender. Okay. These are the people who are giving up, throwing in the towel. These are the tens of thousands of agents that will be exiting the business. One of 3 new agents quit in their first year. And by my account, about 15% of the membership of NAR exits annually, just in a normal year, which is pretty high turnover. So I challenge you to figure out what mindset you're going to adopt. What are you going to embrace? What are you going to commit to? Okay. Are you going to commit to the protection mindset, which, unfortunately, a lot of us have probably done. We just want to, ride out the storm. Or are we going to shift to the expansion mindset where we're going to grow at any cost? Okay. And, to have that expansion mindset, that's going to require, us to have discipline, because willpower wanes, right? I mean, willpower will wane. You have to have the discipline and the habits to do that. And I think this was might have been re-quoting something from Mike Ferry. But Mike Ferry talked about, and this is for you old timers, that's actually Tom Ferry's dad, okay? I know some people are like, who's Mike Ferry? And Mike Ferry talked about in the 90s, and it's just as relevant today as it was then, that, don't get consumed by information that will alter your mindset. And what he was talking about then is probably just as relevant, but feels more relevant now. He talked about, don't put yourself in vulnerable positions. Don't consume too much content or news that's going to put you into a negative mindset, a funk, a disenabling mindset. The media sells headlines, okay, that sells newspapers. And I'm going to bring this into the modern era and say the media sells headlines that terrify us into clicking or watching things, right? And those things are usually negative things that are not empowering us. I think we need to have a consciousness about where we put ourselves and how that has us behave. If you are an addictive personality, I hate to use this analogy, but if you have an issue with alcohol, the last place you want to be is in a bar, right? Because you're going to get challenged. And these disempowering things, Mike Ferry said, hey, if World War III starts and you're not reading the newspaper, somebody will tell you, right? You walk in the office, hey, World War III happened. Oh, okay. And I think that's just as relevant today. You don't need to know everything that just disempowers your mindset, okay? And then if we commit to having the discipline and consciousness of our mindset, I have a clip that I'm going to play if we have enough time, where Tony Robbins talks about motion creates emotion, right? And I know that if you've ever been to like a Tom Ferry event, sometimes if you were to video it, and I think they even do it at Tony Robbins, like Date with Destiny, he'll say, stand up and make your power pose. Has anybody ever been to a Tony Robbins event and they had you do that? Angie, did they have you stand up and do your power pose?
Yeah, he calls it make your move, and then he touches his chest, and
Right, and when you make
basically
that
have a
move,
strong stance.
does that change your state when you make the move?
Yeah, it puts you in a different mindset.
Right. So, we need to be aware of this because we can change our state of mind. Like if we all just, for 15 seconds, just everybody on the call smile and see if you feel a little bit better, right? Smile. You can't help but change your state of mind. Ron, are you smiling, Piccolo? Is that the best you got?
I'm
Come on,
always
Ron.
smiling.
You could do better. There you go. That's the real smile. But that changes our state of mind, okay? And you can do that at will. Okay. I am no Tony Robbins. I'm no Tom or Mike Ferry, but I do know that we can change our state of mind by putting ourselves in better positions. Instead of exercising willpower by having the discipline, okay, to do things consistently. And I was, again, I don't know who this was, but as I was, following some leaders in the industry, they were talking about how they hold themselves accountable in their team. And shout out to Chief Baker there. This was a Sisu user, and the team leader admitted that by implementing Sisu, it didn't really click or move the needle until he held himself accountable to the same activities he expected his team to do. Okay. And I don't know, Glenn, I never asked you this, but do you have your own Sisu and your own daily accountability report?
Yes, and I also have not only my goal, but I have a team goal, which is loftier than the aggregate of the team.
And could you be fully effective if you didn't hold yourself accountable, in your opinion, Glenn?
You're a rudderless ship.
So I'll take that as, so think about that. Like, if you're running a team, okay, and you're not doing what you preach, your team members will never do it. Okay, if you're a manager and you're not practicing what you preach, your agents, your followers will never embrace it unless you're willing to do it yourself. Okay.
Gotta love what you do too. I mean, I love this business. I mean, that motivates me right there. Every day, you don't do anything with your business, you feel guilty. So you have to love what you do.
So back in the day of old school Mike Ferry, Mike used to say, even if you don't have a client, go preview properties. And he says, activity spurs opportunity. Okay. Once you do that, you may think of somebody who it fits. Think about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this day of technology, a lot of us have lost the art of actually going out and previewing something for somebody. We just look at it online. We've lost that touch. Activity breeds opportunity. Surround yourself by like-minded individuals because, like it or not, you become the average of, who can finish that? Angie?
The 5 people that you surround yourself with.
That didn't sound like you, Angie, but yes. You become the average. Shout out to Lisa. So you become the average of the people you associate yourself with. Okay. So look around on this call. I mean, we've got some tremendous talent. So you're in good company. Just move your box around to some of the more successful people. Just kidding. But you really do have control over your emotion. And did anybody ever in your life see somebody who seemingly, shouldn't be happy, maybe things aren't great, maybe they don't have a nice car, they don't live in the nice neighborhood, but they seem to be having a really good time. I'm sure we've all seen that.
Mhm.
And then sometimes you see people who seem to have everything and they're miserable. That's probably even more common. So your mindset and the way that you behave, the way that you process gratitude, that matters. And it's not something that is predetermined for you. Okay. You can choose to be grateful for just, waking up. I mean, you could have that as your first, act of gratitude. And when you acknowledge somebody that's influenced or done something for you, does that not only maybe make them feel good, but do you feel good when you do that?
Sure.
100%.
So,
Absolutely.
so,
Rob, can I add something?
sure, Karma, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So if you say about discipline, you are the example of discipline. For example, last week you were doing the mastermind from your car. Number one. Number two, this meeting, it gives me the fuel to go on for the week. Thank you.
Well,
And
I appreciate you you showing up and appreciating what I do. That just gives me more gratitude and motivation to continue.
thank
Now,
you. Happy holiday to everybody.
yes, thanks, Karma. And on
So
the
Rob, I got another one here. So I was coaching with a gentleman, and I didn't renew this. It's coming up just January 1st. I'm supposed to renew, and I didn't renew with them. And I don't have a. So I had another coach. I switched to this new coach. And I didn't renew with him. He says, "What's changed in the last year? I thought I was doing such a good job for you." I said, "You were." But the one thing is, he has switched over to a competitor, that EXP. I don't like hearing that stuff. Hold on. But the second thing is, we have you every Monday and Friday. I don't need a coach. You're the best coach there is, because you lead by example.
wow,
So I really appreciate you.
right back at you. And I'm only better because of all of you on the call here. But thank you kindly, Eric, for those words. And those of you who are saying, "What's Monday?" Our team leaders, we get up an hour earlier at 8:30, and we get together for half an hour, and we share ideas.
Rob, I'm not getting the notification for Monday's class.
Okay, just put it in your calendar. Monday at 8:30.
Yeah, but I need the link.
You need to be a team leader. I'll send it to you.
Except this one.
Yes. And this Monday and next Monday for Christmas and New Year's, we've put it on hold. It wasn't my choice. I probably would have did Christmas, but not New Year's, but it would have been interesting New Year's Day at 8:30.
We're getting soft.
What a way
getting
to
soft.
start the year off.
We could have pushed it to Tuesday, but they vetoed me. So
Rob, if I could just say a couple of things regarding what you've talked about so far today. First of all, being the average of the 5 people around you was always the reason I wanted agents to be in the office. Because I know when I was getting started, I hung out with the top agents in my office, to see what they were doing, to talk to them, to learn from them. And that was just a super thing to do. It didn't cost anything. I was new, so I had the time. And these people, we weren't competitors. We were teammates. We were friends. And those relationships continue to today. The second thing is the first thing that you said today about, the difference between, a habit or I forget the other term that you used. But the
willpower,
idea,
willpower.
willpower, right. So there's 72 people on the call today. I mean, I always look to see who's on the call, and pretty much the same people each week. And we're here because we know Friday mornings at 9:30, this is where we need to be. This is what we need to do. It's not a willpower thing, it's a habit. And because we get a lot of benefit from it. And I think that, I think that's really important to recognize.
So Robert, when's the last time you remember us canceling or missing a Friday mastermind?
I don't.
I mean, I had to move one up early when I was in Geneva for a flight. I did it from the airport.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
That was a
But
good one.
But that's the only one I can really remember, and it's because of the habit, right? And you don't need a notification for this, right, Robert?
Right. Right. And the last thing I wanted to say was, about with regards to having a business meeting on New Year's Day. Several years back, at 10 o'clock in the morning, I was sitting in a seller's house negotiating a $2 million sale for my buyers. So it's a day like any other day.
So I'm going to say that there is an agent. I don't know if he's still on this call, but he does his most FSBO calls on New Year's Day, because that's when most listings expire, December 31st. And most agents are off New Year's Day. So if you're a FSBO dog, that's your day. Okay, and it's a great way to start off, because if you look at your MLSs, there are more listings expiring at the end of the year than any other month. And there are probably the least agents making calls on New Year's Day than on any other day. So there's a habit that can get you started off quickly in the new year.
And Rob, just to comment on the term discipline, when I saw the email, I immediately had a visceral reaction to it, because I don't like the word discipline, and probably because I'm a short-haired guy and my mom was a hair puller, so I kept it short my whole life. But when I was being disciplined, but I use the word structure with all of my team members, and that when you have structure, you put things on your calendar because you have structure, and then you follow them because you trusted that you put it on because it was important. So I always use the word structure instead of discipline, because to me, discipline always had that Catholic school guilt that came along with it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Discipline, I guess, is for having a lack of discipline.
The other thing is, and I can relate to the Catholic school thing. I had hair then. People make time for things that are important to them. So I think that when we look at the group of folks that are on this, you're the most successful in the company. You're the highest energy. You're the leaders. And if I could do anything in the coming year, I'm going to encourage my salespeople to take advantage more, because I know who's not on, and at least for my office, and they're missing out. It's absolutely. I got to agree with Eric. I got my my mentor right here every week, twice a week, and the last 12 months have been a blessing for me. So I just want to thank you, Rob, for that.
That's what I was saying, that when we went to Nashville, you're not too far behind Gary there, man. You are our leader, and this is a perfect platform for agents to join in and share ideas and listen to good information. So thank you, Rob.
He's very humble. You're very humble, Rob, because I always tell you all the time, right? You mentored a lot of people, including myself, and I think you're genuine.
That's embarrassing me now. This is not good.
It's one of the, well, you know what? It's before the holidays, and it's one of the things that, this platform is for, right? To share ideas and for us to grow with each other and with one another. And I think it says a lot about you as far as the growth. I've known you for a long time, and I met you in a different capacity, and you did the same thing for me in a different capacity. And who you are, and you can feel you're just a genuine person. And I have to concur with Eric. Ron and everyone that said this, we have our coach, it's you.
Didn't you
Oh,
start
kudos,
this
kudos
off by
to Posse
saying,
here too.
Oh,
Kudos to
thanks.
Posse. Don't forget Posse.
Yeah,
He's our
I'm the
right-hand
engine.
man.
I'm behind the scenes. So,
hey, that's
but-
where all the action is. Rob, didn't you start this out by letting us know how good we would feel if we gave someone else kudos? So let us feel good, will you?
All right. Well,
He's turning all red.
thank you. But I think that the collective knowledge on our weekly calls is, if you had taken 1% from everybody that makes a contribution, you would undoubtedly be the best in the industry. Because there's somebody here that's doing something at virtually the highest level, and then we're sharing these ideas. In the link for today, I believe there's the video that Glenn shared. He so selflessly shared with the group, along with his list of Morris Agent Team buyer tools. Okay, and this was attached there, and it's 3 pages of work that Glenn did for his team. Okay, and early on I would be like, oh geez, can I ask Glenn for that? But I think our culture is such a mature culture where I'm like, Glenn, do you mind if I share that? And Glenn, there's probably a lot of work, right, to put that together? You're on mute, sir.
Yeah, tons.
So a lot of work. I know your team was really proud about it. And when I was doing some team meetings, I was absolutely blown away by, for those of you who weren't here the last time, I was blown away by the change in offers made to offers accepted by Glenn's team. I almost thought it was a little bit exaggerated, but in reality it wasn't. And there was a reason why it wasn't, because there was a plan, there was a reason. And whether these are all the perfect things or not, Glenn, that's half the story. But the other half of the story is that your team had buy-in to developing this, right?
Yep, we collectively did it.
And they were telling me, oh, Rob, you don't know how much it means if you offer to pay the legal fees for the seller, or if you pay the transfer tax. And they all knew how to calculate the transfer tax. So I was very impressed. And for the record, what it was like 1.3 to 2 offers to each acceptance. Was that what we determined going around the table?
Correct.
I don't think anybody had a number higher than 2 offers to 1 acceptance. And I was at another team meeting where the average was 4.5. Okay, and there were some people that were in double digits to get number of offers that they had to make to get 1 accepted. So those people probably aren't all on this call, unfortunately, but this is gold. And the video and the technique that you had is gold. And Glenn, I actually transferred the video to my BombBomb, so it won't disappear in 2 weeks. I hope you don't mind.
Not a problem at all.
So it's, these great ideas, for those of you who weren't there, Glenn does a video last week. He sends a video out with the offer. And when he does that, many agents forward the email. And Glenn, I think you said more clients watch the video than the realtor, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So BombBomb gives you that. It shows you who's watching the video and how many times they watched it. So there's some great ideas here that can help you serve your clients better and live more abundantly and move from, hopefully nobody's in a mindset worse than the protection mindset into the expansion mindset, right? Protection is defend what we have. Expansion is, hey, in every change, there's an equal opportunity for those who, are willing to put the work in. And the last thing I want to say is we talk about, discipline and willpower. It also requires work. Okay, there's no solution for success where you don't do the work. Okay, and the only time where I see that happens is people who go to other companies with the guise of I won't have to do the work. You know, I could just invite people in and I won't have to work. That's kind of like the opposite of our culture. Our culture is, serving the clients, finding higher levels of ways to repeat that process. And, maybe even evaluating it and saying, look, maybe if we get a 10 out of 10, let's shoot for a 12 out of 10 from customer satisfaction. Because those are the people that are going to go out of their way to endorse us to people that they don't even know. And I don't know, is anybody from the Danielle Coyle team on? So I'd actually done a live session or office meeting down in our Tinton Falls office, and I talked about this raving fan that I had from my days in lending. And I just said to myself, maybe I should reach out to him and see what he's up to. I found him on LinkedIn. He called me back in minutes. And he wound up doing 4 transactions with us. Just because I only made that connection because I was talking about it. I'm like, I wonder whatever happened to him. Right. And now he's living in Florida. His daughter listed and sold the house, listed a house, bought a house, and he actually it might be 5 transactions. He sold his house and bought one here. Just because I was thinking about a story, an example of somebody that was in my life. So maybe there's somebody like that in your life that you need to reach out, see how they're doing, thank them, and maybe more business becomes from us. Maybe you want to go read your reviews on Zillow and reach out to the people that gave you a positive review and thank them. Right? Has anybody ever done that? Read your Zillow reviews and use that to feel better, and maybe even exponentially use that by calling them up, thanking them, and seeing how they're doing? Anybody raise your hand if you have? Only a couple of us.
Hey, Rob.
Yes.
So there's this new program I bought into. I think it's called Rate My Agent or something. And I've always had to pull teeth to get Zillow review for the Zillow reviews. That people wouldn't do it. I didn't even have to go as far as to write a review and say, hey, here's some example you can use. And if you like, so they would basically copy and paste and put it on Zillow. Well, I'm using this Rate My Agent, and they send them out automatically. And I'm like blown away by the feedback I'm getting without, I'm not telling them what they really feel. And it just really helps a lot.
Hey, Rob, on Rate My Agents, we're a premier, for Zillow. So if you actually go Remax Select Group Zillow, we actually come up as the #1 Rate My Agent in South Florida. Eric, just for a tidbit of information.
Look at that, all this knowledge and contribution. I'm going to play, I don't want anybody to drop off, but I'm going to play this 1-minute clip from Tony Robbins because I think it's significant. And, sometimes you might even want to watch it again at a later time, but it's really at least mind-changing for me. So hold on. I know it's going to now.
Look at the ways we can change today. And the way I found to do it, and I've taught for 41 years, is physiology first. The way we move determines the way we feel. And so you can't influence somebody else if you can't even influence yourself. Very often you'll see leaders who are in a crappy state and they're trying to lead somebody else. You can't do that. You can't get someone to do something you're not doing. You can't get someone to feel what you don't feel. You can't touch someone if you're not touched. You can't move somebody if you're not moved. So I measure 0 to 10, where am I throughout the day? And it's not like I have to be a 10 every moment, but I know where I need to be in order to produce the greatest result. And then I know how to change them. In short order, emotion is created by motion. And what you're really talking about is compliance for people taking their pills, following all these things. It's all based on the emotional state they're in. But when you change the body radically, you change the biochemistry, the state changes and they make a shift. I want to know what it takes to be happy. We have to understand what is our current blueprint of how our life's supposed to be. Now, what do I mean by blueprint? Well, we have a story in our head of how life's supposed to be. Some people's story is you work hard in school, you become really great, you're a nice person, you're a good.
All right. So not earth shattering, but does that make sense? I think Tony Robbins has credibility, right?
He's terrific. I went to a few of his seminars. They're just great. So uplifting.
Rob, I'll give you another pearl here from another one of my groups I attend. They say, move a muscle, change a thought. So if you're feeling down, just get up, move around, and it changes your mindset.
I mean, and Eric, when you make calls, you stand up, right?
Most of try to.
Because
I'm
it
over
changes,
60 now. It's getting harder to stand up all the time.
but it changes your physiology when you do it, right?
Yes.
So, I'm
The
gonna
other-
ask everybody to invite somebody next week to this meeting. You know, whether it's somebody at another company, it's somebody in your office that didn't show up. Even if it's not in real estate, I think what we talk about is relevant, even outside of real estate. Maybe it's a lender. Maybe it's, you know, an attorney. But, you know, I want to share with others, and I think things will come back to us. And also, another challenge for you for this week is to look at your reviews or look at your past closings and, you know, share gratitude for some of the people that you served and that you've done business with. And, you know, maybe we'll have some positive stories like my story with Alan, who did 5 transactions with us from me just checking in on somebody who was one of my biggest fans when I was in a different industry. So don't discount it. You know,
Hey, Rob,
yes.
another real quick, I just want to throw it in. A great exercise is to get a mirror while you're on the phone and take a look at what you look like, because they can hear you on the other end of that phone. They can hear what you look like, and you force yourself to smile. It changes the whole environment of the phone call. So I just, to your former point, your previous point, I think it's a great exercise to see what you sound like.
Great. And Glenn, you unmuted yourself. Did you have something to add?
Yeah, just off the last call, Rob, it was ironic. I got a phone call from an agent not on the team, and I guess they took a little bit of offense to one of the comments I made, that if you say you do the best for your client, are you being honest with yourself? And I propose that we aren't if we haven't sent a video with our offer, right? We haven't done the best we can. We're saying we are, but we're not being honest with ourselves that we are, because we know now that that's a step. And they said that they really took offense to it, and then they were driving to a call with a client, and they said it actually resonated with me. So I thought it was an interesting one. One that they took the time to call me, and I don't think they're on the call now. I've looked through, but yeah, you have to be honest with yourself, right? This whole structure and discipline thing means that you have to be brutally honest with yourself and not trick yourself into thinking you're doing everything you can if you know you're really not.
And Glenn, you've been doing video for how long?
Since the day I got into business, 4 years.
So one of the things that you mentioned, it probably goes back a couple of years, is you said that you don't watch the video before you send it out, right?
Oh, I hate them, despise them.
But I think your videos are awesome, but you just hit the done and you send it. And that's one thing I learned from you probably a year and a half ago, is if I record the video in the bomb and then I watch it, it's never good. Then I record it again and again and again, and then it becomes a frustrating experience and I don't do it again.
Yeah, one and done. I had someone once say to me, the opposite of perfect was done.
You know, and that was the thing that Tom Ferry always talked about in terms of video. You know, make the video, don't go back and edit it again, push the button to send, get it out there. If there's a mistake in it, it just makes you more human. But otherwise, you'll never send it out. You'll just keep changing it.
Yep. So So look, I've learned so much from mostly the people that are on this call, because you are the ones that, share and influence more. And, I'm humbled that, I add value or good value to all of you. And, I look forward to another year and many more years of doing that. And, I can't thank you enough. So next time, invite a friend, invite a colleague, invite somebody to come to this call. Let's make this bigger and better than it's ever been in 2024 and beyond. Thank you all. Have
Merry
a
Christmas,
Happy
everybody.
holidays, everybody.
Happy
holidays,
everybody. Thank you, Rob. Thanks, Rob.
bye-bye.
Happy
Merry Christmas.
holidays.
Happy holidays.